10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now. Live from the Tony Wallow Studios, it's the Ken Stout Live Show, featuring the Zoom homies, produced by L&K Productions. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Tuesday night, February 28th show. I'll let everybody that was in the waiting room in. And
brought a friend tonight.
see that?
Oh,
Yeah, that's my cousin.
oh, I thought one of Ken's relatives was staying with you.
Do what?
And speaking of Ken, now he has made a revision this afternoon.
Who? Me?
Yeah. Ken 3.0 or 1.0, back to whatever it was.
I'd have to go look at the video that I looked. I'm confused, but that's okay. I'll stay confused. It's a good state to be in right now.
No, you lost at least part of the beard.
Got rid of all of it.
Well, my eyes not being what they used to be, I couldn't tell if you had a little.
I didn't take the razor blade to it. I just used the electric clippers and got rid of it. Mrs. K's happy, so that's all that matters.
Ah, yes. Cannot argue with that.
William Dawson says, Alex, in one short yes or no only, is your internet speed fast enough now?
Yes.
And there you go. Pop out chat. So Doug's not having anything going on tomorrow. He canceled Wednesday. And then he kind of tried to make a Doug joke. He said, I didn't cancel the whole day Wednesday. I just canceled my 2 shows.
Oh, he canceled tomorrow?
Yeah, he's not going to be streaming tomorrow.
I just watched his show from this morning, like maybe 15 minutes ago. I just watched it.
He didn't have that much trouble today, did he?
No, I didn't think today was too bad.
Not what I saw. I'm just not able to watch them live anymore or anything at work. I gotta get some new earpieces, if you know what I mean.
Yep. What's your internet speed like, Tim? You guys are in the same city with the same provider.
I've got the exact same thing he's got. And I started to go to business when I was super busy. I'm like, nah, and I almost rented a place because I didn't want people dropping off the computers at my apartment complex.
I don't know if you can read that, but
Oh, that's nice.
It says you had one job, but I can't really tell what the picture is.
it's supposed to be a picture of a handicapped parking spot. There.
Yeah, one job.
What's that? A calendar? Oh, that's one of the
calendar
things. Yeah,
it's a calendar, but there's something wrong with every picture on this calendar. Every day there's a picture, and there's something wrong with this picture. So you got.
You got to figure out what's wrong with the picture every day.
Yeah, and this one goes along real well with me because it's a handicap spot.
That's not cool at all.
That's
So
actually tomorrow.
how'd they screw up the handicap picture? Did they just not put the right picture in there, or what?
Looked like there was a bunch of shrubbery along the front of it, but I couldn't make everything out.
Yeah, I was having trouble making the picture itself.
No, they painted it. They painted it wrong.
Oh.
Was it blue on white instead of white on blue?
The blue and white part is correct, but the wheelchair symbol they put in the middle of the blue.
Right.
The wheelchair symbol is wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see a lot of those. You had one job to do, and some of them are absolutely hilarious. So,
You know what I like about those all those parking wars, like those parking wars shows on A&E, is those parking enforcement officers like the Philadelphia Parking Authority, they enforce handicapped parking permits, unlike the police and everybody here in Arkansas.
Well, they do get enforced here too. My wife got one because she forgot to hang the placard up one time. And but she had to go down to the courthouse and take her little placard and the DMV thing that goes with it. Still had to pay $100 down
wow.
it was down from 400 if you
It should have been down to 0, though. I mean, she had it. She just didn't display it.
well, but they said, no, you're supposed to put it up, so you got to pay.
Yeah, I guess.
The
That
ones
was years and
here,
years ago.
the ones here is only 2,500. If some places where you park it says a $2,500 fine if you don't have a.
Well, ours say up to some amount. I don't know what it is currently. So depending on the circumstance, the judge can give you anything from 0 up to the maximum amount that was posted in a particular area.
Well, here in town, my mom has, when there's no parking spaces available at Walmart, no handicap parking spaces available at Walmart, just here in our local at our local Sheridan Walmart, she is parked up next to the building in the yellow lines in the fire lane. There's no handicap spots available.
So you guys, it's ironic you bring that up. I just read an article this morning
Hmm.
that the Indianapolis court system is going to eliminate their so-called quote traffic court at the end of the month, at the end of March, not February. They're doing away with it, and they're just going to start putting traffic offenses back into the regular court calendar.
Seems
That's pretty much what I said too. I went, So
seems to me they'll clog up the regular court.
well, sure it will.
calendar.
Sure it will. It's another dumb governmental thing. So I'm
What?
gonna make
You
sure.
can't
Yeah,
tell me the
what?
government would do something stupid.
Yeah, my channel will probably be banned tomorrow. Probably some dumb government agency watching
Yeah.
it.
Speak on. What's that?
He said,
I'm
"Dumb."
looking for balloons.
I seen an article on balloons today about people that get these helium-filled balloons and let them go in the sky. How they just don't disappear into oblivion. Well, no kidding. They eventually come down and land, and sometimes they land on a farm and the animals eat them. I mean,
The damn network people and the linemen that work out there on those telephone poles and replace all that stuff, even underground stuff, they really hate those aluminum balloons.
hi, Brian.
Those nice shiny ones.
Good evening.
They take some stuff out. Hey, Brian.
It
So
sounded
far.
a little bit Alfred Hitchcockian. Good evening. Hey, waves. So today's golfing was going along so well until the 13th hole. Would anybody like to explain what happened on the 13th hole, Alex?
Got struck by lightning.
I called him.
Oh, shit.
But I thought you still ended up with a decent overall score.
I had a great round of golf going until the 13th hole.
Some government
But he wasn't
agency.
really.
Yeah,
wasn't
some
really mad at
government
me.
agency.
He wasn't really mad at me until he got in the car and headed home.
No, I was mad at you
Because-
from the 13th hole. I'm going to tell you like it is.
Because of his cell phone reception going between where he was going and his house is horrible.
So let's ask Greg and Jeff. Did they have any problems when I talked to them from the time we hung up till I got home?
Nope.
Oh, your
None.
audio was a little scratchy, but
Yeah, that's the car audio. I can't really fix that. And then Alex tries to tell me he talks to a friend of his on the messenger, but his friend's at home. Well, no kidding, Alex. Duplicate it. Get him in a car. Get him out in the middle of what you think is nowhere. And believe me, I was in the city. I wasn't in the middle of nowhere. I was coming through the city. But it's just ironic that we always have issues. And when I talk to everybody else in the world, and I literally mean everybody else in the world, there are no issues. None. I don't know what it is. And then he questioned how long it was going to take me to play, what, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So what's that, 6 holes? What'd I tell you, 40 minutes? What'd it take me, 38?
I don't know.
I know,
I wasn't counting.
it all depends on the parties that are in front of you.
I had a guy in front of me that I kept catching. He was using a cart, but I got it pretty well timed out to as he was finishing, I was hitting the golf ball, and it worked out real good. Rick Lakes is not going to be joining us tonight. He just sent me a message.
And then you were mad at me yesterday for eating Popeyes.
I wasn't mad at you for eating. You have a hell of a problem with your thinking. You know that? I wasn't mad you were eating Popeyes. Why would you think I was mad at you for eating Popeyes? I can't wait to hear this.
Because you said waiting room.
I don't think that was because of Popeyes. I'll have to go back and watch the video to see what it was about.
We only got one Popeyes here.
We've
Lucky.
got a KFC and a Popeyes right across the street, literally from one another, but they're both horrible.
Well, we've got
The restaurant across the street from, I think, Popeyes is Yosemite Smokehouse or something or another. Right across the street from Fresno State University. That place
sounds
is
good.
packed. Yeah, you can't get
I've
in there.
only-
There's nowhere to park.
I've only tried Popeyes once. That's when I was in Aiken, South Carolina. And it was pretty mediocre.
yeah.
I think the one I ate at was in North Carolina.
They're,
I
I'm
never
sure
ate this
most
one out
brands-
here.
Sure, like most brands, they have good and bad locations.
Ever since Taco Hell, as Jeff calls it, opened up around the corner.
I always
from me,
call them Taco Hell.
around the corner from me. They're always packed. Every time I go by there to go to church, gotta go by there to go to church and go to church. And every time I go by there, they're packed.
They used to have a really good grilled stuffed steak burrito back in the day. They changed their menu way before the pandemic, and that place went downhill. I quit eating there.
They have a good they have a good new item called a grilled cheese burrito with cheese on the outside of the burrito shell. It's pretty good, and they have good like frozen drinks.
Oh, this place I got near me is a piece of crap. That sounds good.
I don't like Mexican fast food
No.
in
That's what
general.
it is. It's fast food, so I
There's
don't
a-
go there.
There's one Mexican fast food place that has a lot of locations here. I'm trying to think what the name is now. That isn't too bad, but they cost about 3 times what Taco Bell does.
Why does Brian's background make me think of the TV cartoon series Scooby-Doo?
I found this background about 3 days ago is part of my video backgrounds, and I said, you know what? I'm going to use that on Zoom.
Don't get me wrong, Jeff. I prefer actual Mexican food myself.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
got a
there's-
good Mexican restaurant here in town. They've
I
got a
haven't
thing.
looked around to find a good one here. I had a couple places I liked when we lived back in Tennessee, but
There's a shit pot of. There's a bunch of good places to go to here.
Yeah, they're well, I'm sure if you here, I'm sure there are some good ones too. I just don't know where to go. We had one back in Knoxville, and you
Damn, some of
even
them
have
get
known it was
pricey.
there. It was a little hole in the wall place in behind a old motel. And I guess the lady running it picked the location because it was cheap. But now it wasn't Mexican food. It was like New Mexico style Mexican food. But damn, that stuff
Oh,
was good.
oh
I mean,
man.
homemade essentially. It
Where was that at?
was in Knoxville.
Knoxville? You
Yeah, and it was
kidding
in a
me? You're kidding me?
no, and it was, but I mean, it
Nice.
was run by a lady who had moved there from New Mexico,
Oh,
and it was almost like home cooking. She had great green sauce and some other things. It's
they make a
gone
lot of that
now.
stuff from scratch too.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's pretty
uh,
cool.
I wish I could think of the name. I could drive to where it used to be. I mean, it's gone. The motel that was in front of it was a little run down, crappy
I bet
looking
she's
place.
long gone too.
Oh yeah, well, that's been 30 years ago. I'm sure it's not there. Well, it was long gone ahead of that.
I don't even know how a lot of these restaurants even stayed open during this COVID
Yeah.
crap we had.
A lot of them didn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, a lot of them
Very
around here
true.
shut down permanently. They got creative around here. They just threw up tents outside the restaurant, put tables and chairs underneath it.
It's similar, Brian, but not exactly the same. Is my green screen off again? Yeah, it is over here, isn't it? Yeah. So what do I need to do
I
here?
see bricks behind you.
Move it right there.
Oh, that
There
one.
we go. That solved the problem. Oh boy.
And
What
here,
I loved
everybody's
about
screen was built like the proverbial brick outhouse.
what
I like his better, but I seen this one. I'm going to do something with this actually. But
what I loved about the restaurants during the pandemic is when you had to wear a mask.
yes.
When you walked into a restaurant, you had to have a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
The waiters and waitresses were all wearing masks. But if you sat down, you could take your mask off.
Yeah.
So that was scientific proof that the virus was only 6 feet up in the air, never came down lower.
Everywhere I ate at, I didn't have a mask on. I did get a lot of food poisoning though, because I think a lot of restaurants were reselling crap because they were
Yeah.
shut down for so long. That was expired, Stuff still tastes really good, but you don't know what they're giving you.
Yeah. A lot of them here that survived just switched completely to takeout. And guy I know that has a little breakfast place. He did
Nope.
basically all of it himself during the pandemic. Couldn't afford to pay any help or whatever, no more than he was doing. And cooked it, served it out the window, drive by or whatever, and then stayed afterwards and did the dishes. He made just enough to pay the rent, he said, after all his expenses. So that's how he was able to keep his location there. And then afterwards, for about a year and a half, he had trouble finding enough help. He was only open 5 days a week when he used to be open 7. And it's because he couldn't get help for 7 days a week.
Right.
Only in the last 6 months has he been able to open 7 days again.
Lawn dogs in the chat room.
I'm going to go catch up with that here in just a
See,
second.
Whenever we go to the local Mexican restaurant here, they have a dish that comes in one of these dishes here is metal volcano. They call it a molcajete. It's a Mexican mortar and pestle. It's and what they do is they heat it up. They heat that whole thing up, that whole rock up, and they put a whole bunch of like pork and chicken and shrimp and some kind of whatever kind of sauce they put with like onions and cilantro and everything, and it's the best dish on the menu. But it's also the most expensive thing on the menu.
Is that Ken?
That is Ken. It is I. It is I. Got to go figure something out here. Give me 1 second. I promise I'll catch up with chat in a minute. Yeah, that's where I thought it went. Damn it. I mean, darn it. I'm going to catch up with chat. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. Long Dog says his dad's in the hospital. He wants to be there for the food. Oh, my goodness. What background? We can't see any backgrounds, Bobby. We're just... Oh, I like that. Wanted.
That brick wall background that you got, Ken, looks like you got it off of StreamYard.
I did not. I got it off of... I just went to Google and said brick wall
It
pictures.
looks like the same one that's on StreamYard as one of the default.
Well, it's not. Might look the same, but I just went to images and got it from there.
The last time I was in the hospital was for COVID, and that was about a year and a half ago. Went in the day before Thanksgiving. First time to go.
Wow.
The day
I never
before
had COVID.
Thanksgiving. And I was only in for 2 days. But I had my Thanksgiving dinner in the hospital.
How was that?
Excellent. Really, I'm serious. Well, because for one, I love turkey. And I mean, it was a terrific meal. And then when I came home, 3 days later, the wife goes into the hospital for COVID.
Oh, shit.
So that's the story of our Thanksgiving 2021.
I had it around October that year. Didn't have to go in the hospital, but I was this close. One night, my oxygen got down to 78, but
The
Well,
three of us
that-
had it. All three of us had it. Me, my mom, and my dad all had it at the same time around Christmas that same year. Needless to say, we stayed in the house and didn't have any Christmas. Didn't do anything on Christmas Day or anything. We didn't have Christmas Day year until the following July.
but,
Because at that time the kids were still living in Tennessee.
Well, this is timely. We should be talking about COVID because is it the California declaration of the emergency or is it the nationwide?
nationwide one's going to be over soon.
It expires at midnight today, the emergency declaration.
That was started back in March 2020.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's just a guess. I
remember that night, Friday the 13th. It's when that crap hit the fan here in Fresno.
My mother thinks she thinks I never had it to begin with this past year.
And I never did figure out the toilet paper buying thing. I mean, you couldn't get it. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
That was a
Part of it
Costco
was
thing.
hoarding,
Tim.
and part of it was that people were staying home from work, so they needed more at home.
I'll never forget it because that Wednesday afternoon, that Wednesday I was at school. I was at college, and right before I left, I heard him talking about there was some guy in the hospital in about 30 minutes from there that had gotten something, and had gotten sick and was in the hospital. And something was COVID, and the next thing I know, they're closing everything down, and the governor's saying, "Oh, it'll be 2 weeks," and then for the schools being out, and then that 2 weeks turned into another 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks turned into another 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks turned into another 2 weeks, and why I know what, I'm stuck in the house until August. No church, no college, no nothing.
Well, my dad, he died about a week before it all started.
Oh wow, sorry
And
to
we
hear
were-
that.
He was in the hospital, and he was in a what you call it?
Intensive care unit.
Yeah. And I tried to walk around one hallway, and this doctor came out and said, don't go down that hallway again, because there's somebody that's got a very serious illness. It's very contagious. So he never did say what it was. I guess they didn't know at that time.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they said. What I heard them talking about at college too that day. And that was the last day I was there until August, and I didn't know it at the time.
Nice.
I don't know if my dad ever had COVID or not, but his bad lungs came from farming, spraying cotton. Back then they only had tractors that were open air tractors.
Oh crap.
He'd go down one road, come back the other, and breathe all that. He never smoked or nothing.
What was he spraying?
Cotton. It was cotton poison.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding quite what he was
My
spraying.
my
Chemicals on the
my
cotton
uncle's
plants?
The chemicals on the cotton, yeah.
no, my cousin, he's a well-known crop duster out there in Statesboro.
Yeah, but back then they did it by tractor.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you're driving back and forth through that stuff? Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the movie I just watched the other day.
Outbreak.
No, it's Randy Quaid plays a crop duster pilot. I can't think of the name of the movie.
Independence Day?
Independence Day, yes, thank you.
Oh, that's a good movie.
They might have had crop dusters then, but I guess they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, he cracked me up when he was like, "This farm's on the other side, you idiot." And he looked at him and goes, "Are you sure?"
Yeah,
His
just
character was funny in that.
Yeah.
Well, and half serious, half funny part of the time, but he did a good job in that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the other day just yesterday I had a memory show up on Facebook showing me a picture of the haircut that I got at college right before the COVID started. It was like February 20th of 2020.
I went 18 months without getting a haircut during COVID.
I cut my own twice. Everybody's
Well-
like, which barber shop did you go to? I didn't go anywhere. I cut myself.
I've gone 20 years without a haircut.
That was crazy.
Well, what there is of this goatee part got started during COVID because I didn't feel like shaving. I can't grow anything on the sides; it's too thin. And I was about to get rid of it. My wife said she liked it, and then I just never got around to getting rid of it.
We've been knowing my dad for all of like 11 or 12 years now, and me or my mom has never seen him without a beard and or a mustache, and probably never will.
Well, I haven't been without a mustache for over 50 years.
And the only way we will, I imagine, will be if we shave it off with him laying dead in the casket, which probably won't happen.
There's a couple of YouTube videos out there that are kind of funny where they have a guy who normally wears a beard and then shaves it off, and he's got a little baby that's, less than a year old, trying to figure out who the hell dad is after he shaved his beard. Some of those are kind of cute.
William Dawson in chat says another shortage was cat litter.
I saw that.
Why would there be a shortage of cat litter? That's just Mississippi mud.
All the
Clay.
snow, I guess.
Probably for the same reason there was a shortage of toilet paper. I'm not sure.
Because people are freaking out, just like they do around here.
Yeah, but cat litter.
We use cat litter in Virginia just to get our damn old ass Volkswagen out of the hole in the wall and go up a hill. Shit works.
Because nobody was working in those factories to produce it.
Is that what it was?
It's no different than if there's an ice storm around here, there's a tornado warning or a watch or whatever. People run out and get their milk, eggs, and bread or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about the cat litter. I hadn't heard that one. There's two kinds, of course. There's the clay type, and then there's some organic ones. And
I never heard of the organic one before.
Well, that's for the vegan cats.
Well,
yeah.
The organic one actually caused an accident at the WIT nuclear waste repository in New Mexico.
What?
Well, one of the nuclear labs in California or Los Alamos, I don't remember which one now, was shipping what they call transuranic waste. It's isotopes that are heavier than uranium.
Lawrence Livermore Labs.
And it was either Livermore or Los Alamos, I don't remember which one, and they were following a procedure. And what you're supposed to do is to pack some of this stuff in cat litter. And by that, they meant the clay type. Well, some bright soul used the organic type without checking with the person who really knew what the hell was going on. And the chemical form of some of this stuff interacted with the organic material in that kind of cat litter after it got placed into the salt beds underground and caused an explosion. And they were shut down for nearly 2 years getting everything cleaned up.
Wow.
Because somebody made an assumption that any kind of cat litter was equivalent to any other kind. When you're dealing with stuff where you can have potential safety issues, you don't make assumptions.
Cat litter? Really?
We had
Well, but
that's crazy.
Clay stuff is relatively inert, which is what they wanted, because this was, I don't remember what the chemical form of this stuff was, but it was stuff that had been used in experiments or whatever at this laboratory, and they were done with it.
We just used the crap to get our car out of the snow. That's all we used it for.
No, I used to carry bags of cat litter in the back of my little Datsun that was light in the back end. One, it added weight, and if I got stuck somewhere, I could empty out a bag onto the ice and maybe get going again.
I used it just like what William Dawson says. They used it to clean up oil spots on the floor of the shop. When I'd change oil in either my garage or out in the driveway, if I dripped any oil on the concrete, I'd throw the cat litter on there and sweep it up.
It's almost the exact same thing as oil dry.
Yeah,
of course, out here in California, it's illegal, but over there, we had oil dry. We throw this stuff down everywhere and sweep it up and throw it away.
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah, what is that stuff made of? Is that mainly clay stuff, Tim? Some type of clay, or?
It wasn't clay. It was more of a sandy base material.
Yeah, a lot of cat litter is basically clay.
That's what I thought.
This stuff,
you're right.
This stuff wasn't.
There's all kinds. I'm
talking about oil dry, and cat litter is almost the same thing.
We had something at Kroger called Nilo-Do. You put it in dumpsters, smoke urns, and all that kind of stuff. I think it looked a lot like kitty litter.
Oil dry, OILDRI.
It could be
Yeah,
used for
we
that
used a
too.
lot of oil dry in
Absorbent
Georgia.
clay, loose
It's illegal
absorbent.
here in California.
Really?
Yeah, it's illegal here in California.
Why is that? It's just basically
No,
clay, they're
you
saying.
mop that crap up. It goes into a hazard container and it gets shipped off somewhere.
Because
That's
it's
illegal in
California.
Well,
Basically,
no, is it
Why?
illegal to have the clay or illegal to use it for that purpose,
I don't
absorbent?
even think you can use cat litter out here, to be honest.
Oh yeah, they sell cat litter in the stores. I know.
Well, I know that, but you know what I'm saying? You don't want to use that in the machine shop all the time. You gotta dispose of that coolant and stuff the legal
Composition
way.
says Montmorillonite clay. So all
Yeah.
It's
it is
illegal in
clay.
California, but marijuana is legal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're making everything illegal but marijuana out here. What the hell? That's stupid.
Hmm.
Whatever.
So I have a job update for today.
Nice.
I called him. I talked to the guy that called me 2 weeks ago because, of course, it's been 2 weeks and I wanted an update. And he pretty much said, I can't do the job that I originally applied for, which we had already discussed that 2 weeks ago. So I knew that already. And he's looking into getting me, letting me do some kind of remote job or giving me a trial period, and he still wants to meet with me somewhere. So he was asking me where would be convenient for me to meet. Still haven't figured that out yet. But tentatively, with his schedule and my schedule, we're thinking of next Thursday, a week from this Thursday, March the 9th. Hopefully that's when he'll be able to.
Was he specific about what kind of position he might talk to you about?
It'd be like remote help desk. They do they do pretty much everything as far as like IT stuff, networks, computers, data backup. But the one thing he mentioned today was data backup, and because they need like people to constantly monitor their clients' data backups, because they do data backups for like 60 some odd small businesses.
Just make sure that it worked and all that sort of thing.
So something like that, yeah.
Well, that's something you can do remotely, pretty much.
Because he understands that I can't do the job that I originally applied for because he needs somebody to go on site.
Ken, what font is that on your writing on the wall? Do you
that
know the name of the font? Yeah.
that font is. Hang on, let me jump over to DaVinci. Sorry, Greg. I'm not sharing my screen, Greg. Relax. It's called A Dripping Marker.
Thank God. Gee,
I thought he was gonna have a heart attack.
It looks like it's called Blood on the Wall.
Yeah, like a dripping blood. Okay.
Well, I changed the color. That's why okay, so I can change the color to anything I want. I just wanted to see what the red would look like. And then I changed it just now. And I see I need to come back over here and crop the bottom just a little bit more to get that.
And I've never seen a dripping marker font in Microsoft Word or in Microsoft PowerPoint.
Well, that's because, Sunshine, you have to know how to go find stuff. We've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made by.
It's
Somebody
made by a
put
Google
it
search and it
in
looked cool. That's what it's made by.
Right.
I also saw another one today that I've got to go find because I can't remember the name of it.
Oh crap.
Hey, Bobby Warren knows what my background is.
Windows XP Bliss, the default Windows XP background. That everybody knows and loves.
That is if you do a clean install. But if it's pre-built, they usually have their own.
What is
Yes,
that?
they do, but the default background is always in the install, regardless of whether it's a clean install. It's just not the default setting.
And I seen pre-builts put their logo inside of that Bliss theme right there too.
Yep, I seen that, Brian or Bobby.
I
Hmm.
never saw that, but I saw like on some of our school Windows XP computers at the time they had just the default Dell background.
I've seen all kinds of crap.
I tell you what, video editing and creating and all this other stuff is just limited by your imagination and your ability to just sit here and go, what do I want this to look like in the end? And how do I get to that point? The whole time we've been on doing this, I've been just messing around in DaVinci and making small little changes. I wanted to get something with a hole in the wall or missing brick in the wall. Guess what you can't find without watermarks on the internet?
No, you gotta pay for the ones to get rid of the watermarks.
Yeah, $9.99.
Yeah, I know.
You know what, Ken? I just thought of something. Maybe you need to go to you realize that the weathermen use a green screen and all that.
I
So maybe
do.
maybe you should go to a weather station or whatever you call that, a news station, and ask them how they do the green screen and everything for the weather forecast.
They do it just like this. If I were to put a map of the United States up here, I could go, and over here in Sheridan, Arkansas, it's about to fall off the face of the earth. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
I already know how to do that, Alex. Think of
It's
something
called,
original.
it's called chroma keying. Pick a color.
Yeah.
Green is generally what they use. It can be a blue screen if you want it to be. It
Yeah.
all depends. Just make sure that whatever your chroma color is, you or your subject is not wearing any of that color.
Yeah, I have a green t-shirt that I like to wear, but I can't wear it because it's really weird. Long Dog asked me a question about something. I sent him an email for it, and I went and found it. Yeah, the green screen, Alex, I understand the concept. I've messed around and shot a couple videos with me in it and ported me into things taking the green screen out. And Brian's right, you just chroma key it out, and then all that's left is you. The weather's done the same way. They put a big old map of the United States up there on the green screen, and then they're looking at a monitor off to the side so they know where to point. I'm just not that smart. I want to do it from memory. Arkansas is up here somewhere, by the way, when I do the weather. California's down here where Florida used to be, and Florida's over here. Wait a minute. Over here where
still
California
raining.
used to be.
You got me all confused.
Well, I try, Tim. I try. So I'm going to jump back into DaVinci. Keep talking. You guys are doing great. I'm just messing around here.
Needless to say, I'm really excited for that guy to call me back and for me to go and interview with that guy in person. But I'm kind of thinking that he may not call me based historically on my experiences with these people.
Don't stop talking now. We were doing such a good job.
See, we all wish you well, Alex.
That sounds kind of
Yes,
cool.
we do.
Oh, by the way, Ken, those funny pictures of the funnies.
It's good that you called him, though.
Those pictures of the funnies.
Yes.
I was going to resize them for you this evening, but I had to do the mandatory TV watching with the wife until 7:30 this time here for you. So you got pushed out of the picture.
Did she make you watch the soap opera? the Girls or Reba?
No, every evening we have to watch People's Court and
Oh no.
Masterminds. And I would have been in second place tonight on Masterminds. I did pretty good.
Is that the one with
Is that a game show?
Ken Jennings and
Well,
No.
Ken Jennings used to be on it for one.
Yeah. I don't like game shows. I just don't watch them.
I watch
They got-
Jeopardy. I like watching it, even though I still think it's fixed.
I like watching. I don't watch a lot of game shows now, but I like watching when they used to be. Jeff Foxworthy did a couple of them called "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader" and American Bible Challenge. I like those.
I remember Jeff Foxworthy doing those shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, growing up now, everybody watched Jeopardy when it first started.
Art Fleming.
Jeopardy's not really, I wouldn't call it really a game show.
Anybody watch the $64,000 question way back when?
Oh yeah, yeah.
When it they did catch him fixing one of those. There was another one with a similar name, but I don't remember.
Take it.
One of them was caught fixing it. I don't remember which one.
$64,000 question. Yeah, they got caught.
Oh, is
Somehow
that
The guy knew the
Who Wants
answer
to Be a
ahead of
Millionaire?
time.
Yeah.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No, it was way long before that show, Alex.
Well,
That was before my time. I've heard stories about it.
I've seen
Practice Round
videos
was
of.
good in the early days.
I've seen videos of people committing fraud with. Are you or do you want to be smarter than a millionaire or whatever that show is? Because with Meredith Vieira or whatever Regis filming,
Mm-hmm.
because they got people feeding them the answers to the questions, or they use like hand signals or movements or something, and
You mean it wasn't somebody standing behind the host off camera going, the answer is?
no, it wasn't. They had like an earpiece or something in. The contestant had an earpiece or something in and sealed in.
Is that the one where you could phone a friend?
Yep.
Yep.
Like, no problem with that.
It was phone a friend. It was phone a friend. Ask the expert and poll the audience or whatever. But there was one guy that actually won $1 million, and he didn't use any of his lifelines until the very end. Or if he did, he still had his phone a friend left, and so he called his dad at the very end to use his phone a friend lifeline just to call his dad and say, "Dad, I won $1 million because the answer is blank."
Ah,
Whatever the answer was.
I was just going to say that. That's a true story. The guy says, I don't need anything from you because I know the answer. I just wanted to call and say hello.
Guy who did commit fraud on that English guy named Charles Ingram won £1 million. This is just the headlines about it. I don't know what he did exactly. But it was originally called Cash Mountain, apparently.
So Greg has downloaded Kingstown. Have you seen any of it yet, Greg? Is it any good?
No, I haven't seen any of it yet. I just saw the commercial for it. I got all of season 1.
I like Renner.
So, Greg, how many more letters from your email? How many more letters from your ISP? How many more emails have you gotten because you've been illegally downloading?
Been using
Stuff.
Brave. It masks my IP overseas.
So you haven't gotten any more emails, basically.
Nope.
So I need to make a slight adjustment to the text and move it to the left. That's what I'll do. Actually, I'll turn my camera off again so I can take another bite of this chicken thing she just put in front of me. You guys don't want to watch me eat.
Filipino flavored chicken.
I don't know what it is, but man, it's good.
Using some of the stuff you went to Illinois for.
I hope so. I hope so.
I actually like bourbon chicken.
What kind of chicken, Chris?
Bourbon chicken.
Oh, bourbon chicken. Bourbon can be a good flavor on the right kind of foods. I wouldn't drink it personally, but it could be used to flavor some things.
There was a Chinese restaurant in our mall that had good bourbon chicken, but it's closed. I told that Chinese lady one day, I said, I don't want no chicken. I just want some bourbon. She just kind of looked at me funny.
Are you sure she understood what you were saying?
I don't know. Probably not.
We had a little Chinese place that was in a little hole in the wall in between Aiken, South Carolina and Augusta, Georgia. One of those old little mill towns along the back highway there.
Oh man.
And it was god awful. They took Chinese recipes and they southernized them.
Oh
wow.
no.
You know,
Oh, between Aiken and where? Augusta?
Augusta.
I can believe that.
Yeah, if you went
I
the
spent some
old
time up
highway,
there
you
in
went back to
Augusta.
some of those little mill towns that were there.
Well, that's pretty much what all Chinese buffets are, is Americanized Chinese food, unless you go to like a
Well,
China.
this was no. Most of the buffets that you see were much better than this. Chicken strips are usually just they slice up the breast and do something some way. This one used breaded chicken for the the Chinese chicken recipes.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
Our Chinese restaurants are owned by Chinese.
I don't think
Well,
I've
this one
ever.
was owned by somebody Asian, but they had adjusted it to suit the taste of these
I
people
think
living in this little backwater town.
I don't think I've ever been to a Chinese restaurant that does not have a buffet. When we only go and order off the menu, I've never been to a.
Well,
I
I
think the
have
best
several.
Chinese I've been to, and with or without a buffet, was in Virginia.
I've been
And
to
you can go
several
in
without
there and spend, back in those days, $6 and just pig out.
Yep.
Not anymore.
It's probably long gone and closed, but one of the best Chinese type of restaurants I ever ate in was in Kentucky, down by Mammoth Cave. Oddly enough, it didn't. I mean, we went in Chinese that night, and it just you're out in the middle of Kentucky. You're not going to find the best Chinese restaurant there is in the world, or so we thought. It was really good.
My mom likes this place called Buffet City.
Who? What?
It's called Buffet City.
Oh,
There's a
There's
place.
3 locations here in Vegas of a place called Buffet Asia, and it's pretty run of the mill Chinese buffet style stuff.
That's what this is too, but that's what she likes.
There's a place here in Fresno. It's got Chinese. It's got like, you name it, they got it.
Yeah, there were 2 buffets for Asian food in Aiken, South Carolina. One of them was too Americanized for me, and the other one had the authentic Asian flavors, but the food was never hot.
I hate those kind of buffets. Ugh.
But we did have one that was not a buffet. It was a sit-down place where you could order Chinese food, and it was good. I found that it was there about the last year we lived there. That was
The last
And Aiken,
Yeah, in Aiken. Was that on
I never did like that place.
was out on Whiskey Road. It was a relatively new place, but they did a lot of business. There were a lot of folks that lived in Aiken who worked at the government lab there that were from a lot of other locations originally. And this place offering good Chinese food did a land office business, I tell you.
I prefer. I've never had Panda Express. I think either, but I think I prefer Japanese, and that is
Panda
mainly
Ex-
because if you get hibachi at Japanese, the food is hot and they cook it right there in front of you.
They stopped
Yeah.
doing that here.
Yeah.
And the one that's here. The
I think we got one left here.
Panda
No,
Express.
we got three here, I think.
Panda Express is okay
That's fast food.
if you like
Orange chicken.
Americanized Chinese food served as fast food.
It's not Chinese, it's
Yeah, that's what
American.
I say.
Americanized Chinese.
Well,
What's
it is
wrong with
saying
that?
I've never had
It
it.
is. I mean, some of their stuff I like. I have to be pretty selective about it. I took Panda Express to my granddaughter's school for lunch today. They had eat lunch with a family member day at the kids' school, and so I went down there. And she wanted Panda Express. She had orange chicken with noodles, what? Not
Chow
lo mein.
mein.
Chow mein noodles.
Last time I had Japanese food for my birthday, it was right before COVID, my birthday 2020, right before COVID started. And didn't eat was going to have hibachi, and I had had sushi and was going to have hibachi, but then I found out that the chef cut his hand or something, so he wasn't able to actually do the hibachi there. I still got the food.
Yeah.
Still got the food, but
I
with the
like the
disappointment
real
of
authentic Chinese flavors, though. There's one down here called Sam Woo's Barbecue. Started in Los Angeles, but we got a branch here in Las Vegas. And they have the real Asian flavored sauces and stuff like that, which I like.
Oh man, real duck sauce.
Yeah, and just some of the ones that a lot of folks here would think were sour or whatever, but I like those kind of flavors, and so
Yeah, the kind I'm used to is sweet, and they're great on egg rolls.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody most everybody that I know hates China for everything else in the US but the food. People love the Chinese food, but they hate the actual.
Eating that orange chicken from Jack and from Panda. That's a pretty good deal there.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't authentic.
I do like their orange chicken. I will buy that.
That's what my granddaughter wanted today in the kids' meal. So,
And one thing about that, it's always cooked fresh.
oh yeah, they go through enough stuff there. They have small enough containers that they serve out of that it never sits there very long. At least at the peak times they're serving. So
They use a
I like
wok
some
to
of their
cook it.
stuff. I like some of their spicy stuff, and I like it with brown rice personally. But that's just me.
I wish they had a different kind of rice they don't have.
Yeah, this place has got noodles, white rice, and brown rice.
I always get half and half.
I prefer noodles over rice, but I'll eat anything. I won't complain, but that's just.
I think it was Korean food one time. I don't like it as good as I do Japanese or Chinese.
I like Vietnamese real tiny thin noodles myself.
I've seen videos of Korean barbecue restaurants, and they basically you basically go at each table they have a little grill, and you basically
Share
cook
it
it
with
yourself.
everybody.
I'm gonna head out of here.
All right, Tim. Thanks for
All
stopping
right.
by.
Easy.
Good night.
Later.
We have a number of Asian friends, and before the pandemic, we used to go out regularly down here to Chinatown to some of the places that they liked, and it's essentially sit-down places, and you buy several different kinds of things and you share. It's a traditional way of serving a lot of those foods, apparently.
I'm going to make one more change to this, and then I'll be done.
Who's missing a brick?
Well, it says another missing brick in the wall, and I put the word missing brick where the missing brick's at.
Well,
Just-
but you know that's right over your head in the picture.
Good point. Okay, who is missing the brick here?
Me,
Good point.
Well, it's on Kid's picture, so that's all I'll say about that. To quote Forrest Gump or somebody.
Yep, that's all I got to say about that. So if I need to move that up and then maybe down a little bit, because it was right on top. I wonder if I changed the color, if it would stand out a little bit better. I just went with that same color because that just kind of looks best. So let's try going with.
You've got it pretty well centered, I think now.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I'm just looking at where it is, not counting where you are exactly in the picture. I'm just looking at the background at this point.
Mhm.
Trying
I'm going to make one more change as soon as my gray matter decides to kick in and I can remember how to do this.
and don't wait on my gray matter to kick in or you'll be here all night.
after I ordered my Papa's yesterday, I hit myself in the head because I thought, "Oops, I forgot to order it spicy. I meant to order it spicy, but instead I got regular."
Okay, gray matter's kicked in, so this will go relatively quick.
It'll take just a jiffy.
Yep.
Which definition of jiffy are you using tonight, Brian?
I'm going to go with that. That's a little bit not like what I wanted, but I don't remember what the numbers were, so this is fine. And
Oh, excuse me.
now I'm going to test it real quick. Oh, yeah. Yep, that looks all right. Not even going to change the color. Wonder if Tim's got to work in the morning. He didn't stick around very long tonight. I should go catch up with chat.
That's good.
I'm just a horrible host. Catch up with chat here. If you're gonna cheat on a game, yeah, you really should throw a wrong answer every now and then.
Well, some of them, like on "Do You Want to Be a Millionaire?" You can't do that.
Mongolian barbecue. I'm gonna guess he said Mongolian, so that makes me think of Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah.
There's a guy that I watch on YouTube called Eric. His channel is called Eric Surf 6. He's from California but moved to Japan several years ago. He filmed like a whole bunch of videos, like a whole bunch of Japanese, like actual, because he's in Japan, actual Japanese restaurants, like sit down, like restaurants and everything, and the food always that he gets always looks so good, all the sushi and everything.
Sushi
If
is
I-
one thing I have no desire for.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Sushi.
Some sushi's okay. Some sushi, not so much.
Well, if you knew sushi like I knew sushi,
Bada boom. So that's not too bad of Just messing around, grabbing a couple pictures and throwing some text on there. That looks all right.
What is that object to the left of the missing brick?
Somebody's hand.
That.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to
Somebody
take the time to
pointing at
go
the
in and
hole, I guess.
mask it out.
I thought it was a dead body.
Yeah,
Maybe part of a dead body.
you never know. You never know.
So I went into Kroger tonight, and yeah, they're moving the store around.
Of course they are. They once you get used to the store, they sense it, and then they've got to change it.
And they had a bunch of stuff. They had the Starbucks closed, and they had all the the pot, the pans that they sell. They had it out in front of Starbucks. They were wrapped up in plastic wrap.
Are they closing Starbucks?
I don't know. It was closed right now, though.
Wow.
Could
Is
have
that
been
the one
closed
that
by
you
the
worked
health
in,
department.
Chris?
The what now?
Is that the one that you worked in?
Yeah, that's the one I used to work.
Well, you should
I don't
get
know what's going on with Starbucks.
privileges in that one.
I think when they remodeled before, they closed Starbucks.
We don't think there's a Starbucks out here and a Smith's, although I couldn't swear for sure. I've
They
seen an
changed it
Albertsons.
around before.
I've never had Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. It's too expensive for me. I'll stick to my 50-cent or less cups of tea.
Well,
My Keurig or just normal
Starbucks,
tea bags.
in my opinion, Starbucks is a great example of how to make a bunch of money selling a very mediocre product.
Yeah, big time.
That's just
Yeah.
me. Actually, for someplace cheap, McDonald's has decent coffee for a fast
Yes.
food place.
If you catch it at the right time, yes. If you don't, it's the world's. Ugh.
I was just going to say that, Jeff, because when the wife and I were traveling in our RV across the country, the best place to go for a good cup of coffee, we'd stop at a McDonald's, and you get the 16-ounce cup this was a few years ago, like 59 cents.
Yeah.
You go into a Starbucks for that now, and it's about $7.50.
Well, I mean, and I haven't gone to McDonald's for coffee in a while. When we were in Aiken, South Carolina, I would go down sometimes in the morning and grab one, and they would have a senior coffee for whatever price. And one of the things I did,
Well, I'm not a senior yet, so I don't know.
I've had
well, I faked it. But
I've had
one of the things
McDonald's.
they would have every so often, the police department in Aiken, about once every 6 weeks, would go to some fast food place, not the same one all the time, but often at McDonald's. And if you wanted to go down there at the right time in the morning, you'd have several police officers there, and the coffee was paid for by somebody.
Yeah.
And so you could sit and have a cup of coffee and shoot the breeze and get to know some of the police officers that were there.
Yeah. So, Brian, can you send me that background you've got running right now?
Sure. It's an MP4.
No worries. I can work with it.
I don't drink hot coffee, but I'm not a big coffee drinker, as y'all all know, but I have gotten like the McDonald's mocha cappuccino or whatever they call it.
Well, you drink tea though, right?
It's pretty good. But yeah, I'm a tea drinker. I drink it
Do you
hot,
drink
cold.
any green tea?
Yes, I actually have gotten on the rare occasion I'll go to a Japanese restaurant that serves green tea. The very rare occasion I'll get hot green tea.
Well, there's all different kinds of green teas. I'm trying to think. I've got a bag of some good green tea here someplace, although it's getting kind of old.
But I'll drink tea hot, cold,
If that would have come,
old, any way you want it.
Come from our good buddy up in Nova Scotia, I would question what kind of green tea it was. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. We're a little over an hour. I want to thank everybody for being here. Let me jump back to the studio to see who was first tonight. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Tony Wallow.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, moderation activity is now hidden.
Yeah.
That's something that popped up new tonight. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
figure out.
What was all that about? I saw
don't-
something you posted earlier.
Yeah, when I first scheduled the stream, that's what popped up. I don't know what it is. I guess moderators can now do things in secret unless I show the activity. Um,
Hmm.
and you can change
Well,
it at any time you want. That's crazy.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
what it is. That the green tea I like is called Longjing tea. It's what Chairman Mao Zedong served Nixon when he went to China. And it's pretty good green tea.
So oddly enough, I know
Alex.
Tony was first. Oh, now
Alex
see,
likes Long Island
backwards.
sweet tea.
So I want to thank Tony Wallow, Greg Guy, William Dawson, Jeff Ryman, Tim Sowell, William Dawson again, Bobby Warren, Long Dog. I do believe I saw Brian make a comment or two. And I think that covers everybody that was in chat. Thank you guys. I'll cover Doug's thing tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. No comment from Greg?
Say
Is Doug
again?
doing a stream tomorrow?
Doug's not streaming tomorrow. He sent me an email and said he canceled Wednesday. And then he clarified that he didn't actually cancel the day Wednesday. He clarified his 2 streams. Doug humor. You got to love it. So I'll cover him at 12 with something. And I don't know if I'll just do something short and then probably not do anything there. I have to clean my golf clubs because tomorrow with the weather that's projected, I'm actually going to get serious about playing and try to play a serious round of golf. No pun intended on the word serious.
Well, you
Stopping
had
the
a fairly
stream.
serious